Good morning, swingers. My name is Tommy Hayden Jr., as most of you know. I'm also known as Tommy the Flipper. Hope you guys are having a great morning. I know I am because I didn't have to sit through any of those Peter jokes, so thank you very much, Mr. Berardino. What we're going to talk about today is flipping houses. We're going to talk about what I look for, what I shy away from, and we're going to be able to do a case study. We were fortunate enough to find a home in this neighborhood very close to me. I'm less than a mile away, so it's grown very dear to my heart because it's so convenient to drop everything and just go. I want to talk a little bit about not needing a lot of money to flip houses, not needing a lot of credit to flip houses. What you need to have is a strategic partner, and I found that in Dr. Clayman. Clayman's a great guy. I love the guy a lot. He threatened to kill me a ton of times, but he's really just a mushy teddy bear. And quite honestly, without getting mushy on my end too much, whenever you talk about the greatest things in life, I always I always say the greatest things in life are not things, they're people, and the doc is that kind of person. He's one of those people. So I really appreciate all he's done for this flip and for our relationship. And whether I flip a house again with him or not, I think I probably found a lifelong friend. So thank you very much. Getting back to flipping and strategic partners, you really have to find someone that you mesh well with. You can do this. It is a very tough thing to do, but it can be very simple with the right person to get involved in these flips with. Hopefully, over the next 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to see some cool things. We're going to go through some things that we did, things that we faced, things that we had to do to cut some costs and save some money, and all kinds of things. It runs the gamut. So when you see those TV shows and when you see my TV show here today, you're going to see some similarities, but you're also going to see how they really embellish what's going on the TV versus what's going on in real life. So buckle up. If you have any questions, please just tell me to stop the video and I'll answer them. But have a great time and enjoy the next 10-15 minutes. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your breakfast. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm standing in the kitchen of 5803 Cannon Mountain, and I wanted to walk through this home and show you some cost-saving measures and certain things that we did to obliterate some of the high-priced items in a home to make it fit in the price range and learn. Probably the biggest lesson is don't do any more than you have to. We're at 5803 Cannon Mountain. We're walking up to the front door. This deck right here, I added this because it's a very low cost item that makes the house kind of stand out. It's lowered down below the ground just to give the illusion from the street that it's under the surface and you can't really see it, and when you walk up to it, it kind of gives it a nice little touch. Very low cost type of addition that really kind of adds a lot of value. I left the front door. A couple of reasons why is luckily we are in kind of a retro kind of style nowadays, and I think it's really kind of cool to keep certain things like that in homes. So I kept the door, and also it saved us about $400. So as you step in, this is what you see. Dining room, really cool pendant light. And we opened up the wall here. This was a wall. We opened it up to be able to add the light that we really need to sell homes. Natural light is huge. We kept this tile because of the color. It's a little outdated, but it saved us about $300. As we move in here, this tile actually is about 8 years old, and we went ahead and kept it. And that saved us about $1,200. And it actually runs all the way through into the laundry room, which is a good sized laundry room. So one of the things I wait and I save for the end is countertops. Countertops can get really, really pricey, and in this case, we don't want to use laminate at all in a neighborhood like this that's 300,000 plus. And so these butcher block countertops cost about $550, and it took about a day labor, which is about $200. So we were able to save about $2,500 going with butcher block versus granite. This hole right here, it was a wall with a microwave and cabinets on it, and we cut it out, and it brightened it up as well. And we added this beadboard, and it kind of gives a partition between the kitchen and the dining room. Okay guys, hopefully you saw some of the ways we cut some costs, some of the issues that are out there. And the thing you have to remember is that there's a fine line between value and cost. And when you're doing things like that, when you're about to sell your home, or let's say you jump into flipping, you have to understand that you're not going to live there, or you're not going to live there very much longer. And so you need to add value and keep down costs. Okay, so you don't want to put granite countertops in a neighborhood that doesn't have granite countertops. You don't want to put nice Italian tile in a neighborhood that has linoleum or just regular tile. Okay, one of the things that no one really knows is that the bigger the house in the neighborhood, the higher the sales price of the smallest house in the neighborhood goes up. So it works both ways. So the smallest house in the neighborhood brings the biggest house in the neighborhood down, and vice versa. And so very, very seldom have I ever purchased a house that was the biggest house in the neighborhood by square footage. Very seldom, because you can only go so high. You can only go so high. And I like purchasing the smallest house in the neighborhood to the medium house. I'm great with that, but I like purchasing the smallest house in the neighborhood because that's the only house that the value is brought up by the biggest house in the neighborhood. Okay, and so we were lucky in a couple of areas. One is this market's great, and the area is superb. I love living here. I've lived here for a long time, and so we got really lucky because this is the second to smallest house in the neighborhood, and it's a one-story. One-story and two-story, there's a huge difference in that. My generation, I mean, I live in a two-story. My generation wants to live in two stories, wants the big, wants all that kind of stuff. The older generation, they want smaller. They want one story. They don't want to be walking upstairs. And so in neighborhoods that were built after 1985, you're going to find more two stories, it seems. And so when you get an opportunity to buy a one story and it's a fairly smaller house than other ones in the neighborhood, jump on it or call me so I can jump on it. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.